Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Cinnamon Show. Day 2. I don't know how long I'll be keeping the daily uploads, but I wanted to start with everything, see how it goes, develop a little bit of the format of this channel, and just get your guys' recommendation. I'm gonna be making a lot of changes. As you can see, we already have a little guy right at the left, the Cinnamon, so let me know if you guys like this new style. I'm gonna be trying different things. And yeah, leave any suggestion that you might have or any recommendations in the comments. So let's get straight into it. Today we're going to be talking about Princess Mononoke. Princess Mononoke is a Studio Ghibli film that came out in 1997, and I had the real pleasure of seeing it in IMAX for the very first time. So guys, the reason why I wanted to talk about this film is because I absolutely love it. I gave it 5 stars on my Letterboxd and I think it's absolutely amazing. Now, to be quite honest with you, I'm not the biggest Studio Ghibli film, so me liking this film so much was such a nice surprise. The reason why I didn't like the other Ghibli films so much is because my own style of storytelling never really married with the style of Hayao Miyazaki. Now, this is not right or wrong, but for me, what came happening was I love the world, I love the characters, I love the way he built these amazing scenes. Obviously the animation has always been top notch, but for me the story always felt a little bit lackluster. Now I do have to recognize it's probably because Hayao Miyazaki doesn't even focus so much on what we call the traditional three-act structure, right? So it's very different over there, and many times he does prioritize the vibe of the movie and the look of the movie over anything else. When I tell you guys I was in awe of this movie, I am not lying. I mean, as I said, I got the chance to look at it in IMAX, and the score of the movie is just amazing. Especially the Legend of Prince Ashitaka is, oh my god, I love that song so much. So if you haven't got a chance, please go ahead and listen to that song right now. But getting straight into it, what makes Princess Mononoke such an interesting film? Well, for starters, I think what makes it really interesting is the blend that Studio Ghibli does with its narrative. As I said before, Studio Ghibli, they have an unconventional approach to narrative than most mainstream movies, right? So one of the places where you can see this very clearly is in the antagonist of the movie. Now, for those of you who have not seen the movie, this is going to be a quick recap of what happens, especially at the beginning. So you have Prince Ashitaka, right? He's a prince of his own little village, and they get attacked by like a demon boar, right? It is a spirit of the forest that is attacking them. Now, in protecting his people, Ashitaka gets a curse, right? Fighting the demon, he gets a curse into his arm, and he is told that he's going to die. The only way he can ever hope to leave the curse is to go and make them see himself with eyes unclouded by hate. So Prince Ashitaka leaves his village and goes into the forest to try and lift his curse. Now when he gets into the forest, we will encounter 2 players. One side there is the Iron Village, raised by Lady Yoshibo, and on the other side there is the spirits, and there is the forest, which give the name to the movie because of the girl who lives with the wolves, Princess Mononoke. Now what is happening here is that the people of the Iron Town, they are mining the forest for resources. Actually, they are burning it. The reason they are doing so is because they want to get the resources out of the forest in order to advance their development and to protect themselves from neighboring tribes who are trying to attack them. And on the other side, we have the forest and their forest spirits and gods, who are trying to defend themselves against the new Iron Village and trying to restore the forest to its previous glory. Now, the reason why I say this approach is unconventional is because if we look at it, the Princess Mononoke, our protagonist, which is Ashitaka, actually has 2 antagonists, and they are on opposing sides. So let's go over what an antagonist is. A lot of the times when we think of antagonists, we think of villains, right? If I tell you who the antagonist is in Star Wars, we will think, well, Darth Vader, right? But in reality, that is, well, in Star Wars that's the case, but we think of a villain a lot of the times. which Studio Ghibli has none in this movie. If we look at it, both the forest and Lady Yoshibo and their people are antagonists to our hero, because what he wants is to unite the people, is to find peace and to see with eyes unclouded by hate. In this case, both the forest and Lady Yoshibo are in a way antagonists to one another, which makes them both antagonists to our protagonist. All that he wants is there to be peace between them. All that he wants is to go and see with eyes unclouded by hate, and to help them see that. Because he has to leave his curse that is rooted in hate. Now, if we go and we can actually see this in a lot of cases, right? Obviously, also the way that you manage your antagonist makes them a villain or not. In this case, you could argue from the perspective of the people of the forest, Lady Yoshibo is absolutely a villain. She has burned all of the forest. And while that is true, Studio Ghibli and Hayao Miyazaki made really interesting choices in making them more fleshed out characters. Now Lady Yoshibo is not just this tyrant who goes around burning a forest, she's also a kind person. She gives shelter to leprosies. I don't know how to say it in English, but he actually gives this job to people who are, sick, who wouldn't otherwise be able to work, and she gives also work to some girls that were before, they would be in a brothel. So she is a kind character, but still her priority is with his people, not with the forest. Now on the other side, we have the forest and Princess Mononoke. All that they want is to take back what has been taken from them, to restore the forest to how it was before, and to kill all the humans, get rid of them, because by their standards, they are just hurting the forest. In this way, you have them being the primary antagonists to one another, and Ashitika is just kind of in the middle, trying to solve all these issues. So this is one way that makes it really interesting. Now, at the end of the movie, we actually see that being the case. Because it's not about Ashitika killing Lady Yoshibo or defeating her. It's about confronting her so that the conflict doesn't go on. But even in that case, he's confronting also Princess Mononoke. He's going after his help, right? He's stopping her from killing Lady Yoshibo. So in this case, who are we fighting with? If we were only fighting Lady Yoshibo, then he would have no reason to stop Princess Mononoke from murdering her. But that's not the case. We are not fighting any which side, we are fighting for peace. Another point I wanted to touch on is the beautiful animation and score. Now, obviously, Studio Ghibli has always been top notch, and it is no different in this film. Believe it when I say it, that it is one of the most beautiful animated films I have seen in all my life, and the score, oh my god, I was literally going crazy in the theater when I got to saw it in IMAX. But I also wanted to speak about something else of the animation, that is the pacing and what it allows and how it supports the story. I think we are too accustomed today that no matter the movie, no matter the themes, the movies today go pretty quickly, right? Especially in Hollywood, they are very concerned with having always happen on screen, and moreover, they want everything that happens to advance the story in some way or another. Now, this is not technically wrong, because as we're going to see in a lot of screenwriting principles, all that your character do should advance the story. However, the reality is that by putting that at the forefront, you kind of eliminate a lot of other things that maybe advance the story in a very different manner. Let's take, for example, the scene where Ashitika goes ahead and cleans a bowl of water that he has to make him drink from it. Now, you would say, what does that action advance the story? And you are correct, him cleaning or not cleaning his bowl has nothing to do with the story really. But it's not about how it advances the plot of the story, it's how it advances our understanding and connection with the forest. Now you see, a very important part of this film obviously is the whole theme about nature and human beings, about how we coexist with each other. And in that way, it is important for the filmmakers to make us, the audience, connect with the forest on our own. How do you do that? You have to have moments in there. So those kind of scenes who are slower, slow paced, and not really, plot driven are very important. They let our characters rest. They let the action fall down a little, and they give us a space as a viewer to connect with the forest. Personally, those were the moments where I really cared about the forest. Not the big action scenes, but the quiet little moments where I really got to appreciate the animation, where nothing much was happening on screen, but I got to connect. I got to see the stillness, the beauty, and the calmness of the forest. I understood why the spirits were defending it. I understood that peace that we were talking about. In a film that is all about resolving conflict, you need that. And you need those ebbs and flows, which is my next point. Oftentimes today, I feel that films feel very samey. And I think a reason for that is that we do not have enough ebbs and flows. We do not have enough ups and downs. Now in storytelling, it is important to have both up moments and down moments. What do I mean by this? So moments of a lot of action and then calmness, moments of anger and happiness. You need both of them to have a contrast. If you don't, your film will feel the same every time. Now what do I mean by it would feel the same? I would mean that if there's no contrast, you cannot really feel the heights. You have to keep going up and up and up, but even then, you'll feel not much of anything. In this case, as I said, the stillness serves the separate purpose for the narrative, but it also serves as a resting point for the characters. So you can really feel the still moments, and then when they are contrasted by the epic fights, you really feel that contrast. Contrast is important in storytelling. It is contrasting us with what the forest could be, what is the reality. Reality is conflict, reality is violence, but what it could be is peace. It also allows our characters to rest, and it allows them to feel more human. As I said again, seeing Ashitaka, cleaning his bowl doesn't serve really much of a plot purpose, but it does serve a narrative purpose in humanizing him. He has incredible strength, but he is still human. And those moments are where the characters connect the most. Princess Mononoke is an amazing film. To those of you who have not yet seen it, I really recommend it. Guys, this is the end of the video now. So if you got through this point, thank you very much and leave a comment. And now I just want to address you directly. As you know, this is a new YouTube channel, so I'm trying out new things. As you can see, little animation, if you can even call it that, to the left is my own way of trying to give it a little bit more, flair to the visuals. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you like this format, because it's not really structured in a way of I'm going to speak directly about this. It's more of me sharing my thoughts on a movie, sharing what really moved me, and sharing a little bit of that technical proficiency with you, storytelling and filmmaking. Today I didn't mention much of any technical aspect, but I'm also thinking of doing some scene studies later on. So just let me know if you guys like this, if you guys like the vibe, if you guys like the animation, and if there's anything that you would like to see different in the future. Obviously, during this month, I'm going to be trying a lot of different things and seeing what sticks, seeing what works for me. I'm still just developing my own voice, right, as we go. So I hope you guys liked it. I found it pretty cool today. I am liking pretty much the direction that this is going. And as always, if you have any suggestion for a future video, movie, scene, anything you'd like me to watch, I'll be more than happy. So thank you guys, and as always, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.